Today's video is another episode in our comparison series. Previously, we've mostly focused on intermediate climbers, but today we're upping the level and comparing Matt Wright, a V15 climber, with Louis, a V13 climber. Matt is an incredibly accomplished outdoor climber. He taught himself how to rope solo and even reached V13 in the first 3 years of climbing. Now, he's mostly psyched on first descents and hardcore soloing in the most remote parts of the country. But how does he compare to our resident bouncy fantasy comp climber, the captain himself? Let's find out.
Oh, we're here. Nice to see you again, Matt.
Lovely to see you, Louis.
Nice to just be teleported into the climbing centre.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Yeah, we're doing another comparison video, this time with a very, very strong climber, and also Matt's here. So let's get on with it. I'm sorry, let's do the first boulder.
Let's go.
This one, I think, is going to be pretty interesting. I think we're going to do this one like completely different.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't my bag at all.
It's my bag. But no, we're going to do some other climbs which are more your bag as well. So it's this yellow boulder in front of us. I know that I'm going to do this as like a series of coordinated dynamic moves, but I think I can predict the option Matt's going to go for, and it's not what I'm going to do.
I'm definitely going to try and climb this statically. Every time I try and dyno or just do anything dynamically, it's not good. Because like the majority of the climbing that I do is trad, you don't really want to be taking risky moves where you could potentially slip. If you're really good at dynos like Louis, I don't think he ever slips off, but...
Although, did you see that video of me doing Master's Edge?
My
I
God,
did do a dyno
Louis.
at the end of it.
Bloody God, like I couldn't believe first trad route you got to try and flash Master's Edge. That was so impressive.
Remember what I'm doing?
Nice.
Oh God. Yeah. God.
I am not going to climb it like that.
No, you're not. Oh, beautiful. How are you going to get off that heel now, though? Oh, you don't even need to.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, well, that was a lot smarter. Very nice. Obviously, we did this really differently. I do stand-up, catch, foot switch dyno, and Matt does not do that. Matt does heel hook, mantle, a much safer method, but I think, would you agree? I think your method is physically harder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
It's really clunky.
No, I would definitely argue that it takes less physical strength and less flexibility to do the method that I'm doing. I guess the interesting one is, why would you always choose to do a physically harder method, and I would always end up doing this silly dyno?
Outdoors, you would never ever do a move like that.
Yeah,
So-
okay, because we're talking about efficiency, but you're often climbing with a fair amount of risk of serious injury or death. And whilst my method on a small scale when we're climbing indoors is definitely more efficient, if I messed up and fell off and died, well, now I'm not being very efficient because I'm dead. So I'm pretty sure like this is a really obvious example of the main theme that I think we're going to see on the other comparisons that we'll do, which is that I take more risks to be more efficient, and you avoid taking risks at all costs, even if that means doing a less efficient move.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at it.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the next one. Ba-ba-la. This boulder, I'm very excited about it. You are too, though, which is
I'm
nice.
really psyched for this one.
We
This
like
is
a board
really
style
good.
climb. This is like sharp edges, big moves, it's steep.
Yeah.
We like.
Now I do get quite twisty with this one.
Oh,
Whereas you're quite
I
front on,
don't
aren't
think
you?
I'm going to twist even once.
Oh, cool. That's interesting.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. Nice one, Louis. Come on. Yes. Oh. Beautiful.
Yay!
Really?
This one, we actually both found pretty steady. Like, we both really enjoy this style, but I thought this was a particularly good one because we use the same holds in the same order, but there are some really, really distinct differences, even though we're using the same sequence.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting
Okay,
to
so
compare performance, isn't it?
Let's have a look then. So, I think exclusively, I never turn my hips into the wall. I think I do every move square on. Let's just double check. Pretty sure I cut loose here.
Captain cut loose.
Yeah, look at him go. Yeah, I think about doing a drop knee and then nope, do a little pogo instead. Okay.
That's really interesting, yeah.
And then let's have a look at you. Oh, see, yeah, and look, you switched feet straight away. What? I know I saw you do it, but that would feel so hard to me, crossing over that way to it. Okay, yeah, well, hey, who's Captain Cut Loose now? Briefly felt out that drop knee, was like, oh no, not an option. Not only is it the option you choose to do, you do it with so much control.
Yeah, I've done a lot of drop knees. Like,
yeah,
I've
well,
climbed
clearly
an awful lot on Peak Limestone, which is really similar to this. It's kind of like you get a lot of edges and a lot of options, but they're all bad. So,
okay, tricky one to answer now. This is, like, I think, a pretty in-depth question. Let's just look at that move near the lip. You do a drop knee and you move to that next hold statically, and it looks pretty comfortable for you. I do not do it statically. I do not do the drop knee. I do like a little flick with the leg and catch it like that. As for which one is more efficient,
yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong
that.
answer.
No, but you're taking less risk. Again, like if this hold was worse and the consequences of missing it or overshooting it was death, your method is definitely smarter and more efficient than my method again.
Yeah, but I guess the interesting thing is that sometimes it's actually better to do a bit of a dead point than it is to do a tricky drop knee where your foot could just pop.
Yeah.
You know, because the thing is with yours, it's like the risk of failure, I would actually say is probably less than the drop knee.
I suppose because if your foot popped unexpectedly whilst you're expecting it to stay, then you probably would whip off it.
Yeah, whereas like there's less to go wrong with your method.
I do like simple, stupid moves. So, okay, yeah, there we go. But I've noticed actually a general theme is if there's ever a choice of whether or not I could do a move square on or with a twist position, you always go for the twist and I always go for the square on method.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Right, you just saw me putting these strong little digits to use on that hard boulder with Matt. I do a lot of climbing to train my finger strength, but I also really like to supplement that with a bit of additional hangboarding. It would be really nice if I can fit that into my daily routine, but putting a hangboard up at home if you're in rented accommodation like me would definitely annoy your landlord if you drill a load of holes in the wall. So really, really excited that the supporter of today's episode is Frictitious Climbing. They've sent us one of their doorway mounts and their monolith hangboard, and I really, really enjoy using these. Let's talk about this doorway mount because this was so easy to put together. It came in a few different pieces. If I'm honest, I didn't even look at the instructions. I just looked at a picture of it and it took me 5 minutes to set it up. So pretty idiot-proof, as proven by me putting it together. And then mounting it on the doorway takes literally seconds to put up when you want to use it and to take down again to get it out of the way. So that brings me onto the monolith hangboard that they also sent over. This jug at the top is so comfy to use. So that's really, really nice to warm up on. Really like that jug. There's a 20mm edge right in the center. I've mentioned before in other videos that I often cheat when I'm doing my hangs and I'll like nestle into the corner if I can. But I don't have that option on this one, so I'm gonna get some really, really good training done on this. And then final one I really like about this, all of these comfortable edges that they've got throughout the hangboard are really clearly labeled with the exact size. If you wanna try this for yourself, click the link in the description. You can order one of these doorway mounts, and that also gives you 20% off any of the hangboards that Frictitious Climbing do. It's a really, really good deal. So click that link, you can get some nice strong fingers like me and Matt. Now let's get back to the video. We've got a very tricky slab to tackle next. I think we should have a try at this pink V7. Which I'm actually dreading because I've tried it before and I tried really hard and I actually didn't end up doing it when I tried it because I found it
that's really interesting.
I found it really scary. I'm really interested to see you on because I consider Matt to be actually a bit of a specialist of doing really hard, really scary stuff, which I think actually perfect. You've got a new film out, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Alice Tallige just made a film with me called Hard Git.
It's such a good title. Yeah. You do some pretty wild stuff in the film. Like, what do you get up to?
Yeah, so I did 2 E10 first ascents, soloed an E7, and an E8 first ascent up in the Highlands.
Wow.
Yeah.
So check out this film if you want to see all this scary stuff that Matt's doing in hard git. And check the description below, you can find out how to watch it.
That is bloody awkward. Nice, Louis, come on.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, come on. Come on, Louis. That's it. Nice one. Well done.
Oh my God. Yeah, so good. Come on, Matt. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Come on, Matt. Yeah. Come on, Matt.
Oh.
Nice. I thought this was really hard for V7. I don't know
Yeah,
about you.
I thought it was very, very hard. Like, I think realistically it's probably V9, I thought.
Oh, really?
Do you reckon?
It would make it the hardest slab I've ever done.
Do you-
Yeah, I think it's V12
V11.
slab. I think it's V12 slab.
V12. Lovely.
Really interesting, but more subtle example of how I enthusiastically take risks on climbs in the interest of being efficient, and you avoid taking those risks, but use a little bit more strength. I noticed that while we were doing, again, like we use almost possibly identical sequence all the way through, but how we do the moves each way, I'm often, as I move, I'm fully committing to the next body position, and I'm using like, even if it's a small move, like still a little bit of momentum to like flow into the next shape.
Yeah.
Whereas you're very often holding the body position you're in, reaching out with like zero commitment. Like you could undo any move that you're doing halfway through, whereas I definitely couldn't. I'm like flying through it every time. So like have a look at, the second move I thought was a really interesting one. I whip with the right leg and sink into it. Whereas you, I'm pretty sure you switch feet and do it with like complete control coming into it. Like your body only starts moving after you catch the hold, whereas my body's already settled into the next position as I finish catching it.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it?
It's the same on the move to the corner. Like I think, whoa, yeah, okay, look, all at once, I stand up into the balance point, then keep going and sink into the hand on the other side.
Yeah, whereas I found this move really heinous.
Well, you stand all the way into it, and then even at your like full extension when you're about to put your hand there, you could still decide to come back into that next position, whereas I'm already leaning all the way into it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that move was definitely the crux for me.
And then I thought, not visible on these videos, but I thought commitment on that last move was a really interesting one, because I think actually me doing it here and sticking that last move is possibly my 10th or so attempt at that last move. So I thought that was really interesting, is that you're clearly, well, you let me know what you think, but I was watching that going, wow, Matt is like so much more familiar with doing moves when he feels scared and not sure that they're going to work, and still just going for it with full commitment.
I mean, I'm definitely desensitized to feeling scared whilst
So you have
climbing,
to do it all the time, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
that's
suppose.
not to say I don't get scared, like I definitely do, but I mean, I think me and Anna, to be honest, spend a lot of time soloing in the mountains. When you absolutely know that if you make a mistake you will die, that it's kind of different to if your foot pops here, you might graze your face.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it feels for me.
You're used to much bigger consequences, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, have a watch of that film Hard Git if you want to see just how desensitized Matt is to doing really hard, scary stuff. So the boulder we're going to try now is this pink V7. I look at it going, obviously some big dynamic moves.
I'm seeing this as potentially heels, but I might be wrong.
Oh, yeah, quite possibly. Who wants to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, let's do it. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh! Rock, paper, scissors. Ah! Okay, what do you want?
All right, I'll tell you what, I'll go first on this because you went first on the slab.
Oh, deal. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, interesting first move.
Yeah, I was confused by it. Nice, man. Oh no, he's trapped his finger.
We are going to climb this very differently, I think, aren't we?
Go on, Matt.
Whoa!
Oh, how did you hold that? Whoa! Was that last one a jug?
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, well, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, it is.
Louis.
All right, let's talk about the pink Overhang V7 one. I stay in the square on position and just launch for it. You actually found a position I didn't even see. You went for a high toe and a low toe on the volume, found a twist position and could just like reach out for it. And again, like you could have undone that move if you wanted to. So pretty big difference there. As for which one is more efficient, it's neither. It's what are the risks of falling off this move?
I would actually argue the contrary. I think your method is more efficient.
Oh yeah?
I think my way is overkill.
Oh wait, are you talking about the move we just did or the move we're about to do?
I think just this entire sequence.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think the move we were about to do was actually a really interesting one. So you go for a high heel hook, which I also do consider for a second, and then I decide to do a flicky leg thing, and I swing all the way up to actually a really, really good hold.
So this is really interesting.
Well,
isn't
okay,
it?
so you say it's overkill because you end up doing like 3 or 4 hand moves. You lock the heel hook in, match, come over again, match it, then come back down. You're saying that's overkill. I actually think my aim of just, do less, more dynamic moves to make the climb simpler, actually did not work out well for me on this one. Because I lunged for a really good hold, and then found myself so extended it was actually really hard to get out of that position.
Yeah, so we didn't notice this when we climbed the problem, but we actually climbed that last move slightly differently.
We do
Perpendicular.
it the same. Do you? Perpendicular where? Oh man, you're right. Look, you're left foot on it and you twist in. Man, I hadn't even spotted that. Okay, and then I'm definitely not, am I? I just blast off the right foot.
The advantage of going perpendicular to the wall is that you end up bringing your centre of gravity closer in. You don't have to crank so hard on the shoulder a lot of the time. But that law applies really well to kind of like crimpy static climbing, but it doesn't work well for dynamic, whereas this is quite dynamic, I would say. I think one thing that I think's interesting here is if you have a look at your positioning versus mine, my centre of gravity is actually further rightwards than yours, which means that there's going to be a bit more of a pendulum when I reach the next hold.
Yeah, you're right.
So I wonder if I swing more when we catch it. So you're almost like going to land yourself in the correct position.
No, that big swing that you take afterwards.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's much gentler when I swing out. So I guess we're kind of saying it doesn't matter in this circumstance because the hold is a gigantic jug.
But if it was a bad hold,
then suddenly maybe my method does make more sense again.
Yeah, I would agree actually. I think that's really smart.
Interesting stuff. So there you have it, folks. After careful analysis, we've agreed that I'm infinitely handsomer than Matt.
I disagree personally.
That sounds like the bit wasn't even that good. Why are you taking up our time? Right, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. That was great fun. I wish we got to climb together more.
That was such good fun.
I think it's interesting seeing that even though we do have like wildly different specialties, there is actually some really interesting crossover. Like we actually both really enjoy just like board style climbing.
Yeah.
And actually find ourselves equally comfortable on it despite having really, really different approaches to it and how we move on it. Go on, what are you going to say? Go on.
I think that one thing that people need to try and think about a little bit more is training your superpowers and focusing on your superpowers.
I like this,
Yeah.
I like this.
Because it's, at the end of the day, people are naturally gifted at certain skills.
Yeah.
And there is absolutely no point you trying to get really good at slabs, for example, if everything you want to do is overhang.
Yeah.
And you know, if everything you want to do is a crimpy overhang, there's no point training slopers.
Yeah.
I think if you've got a glaring weakness, like let's say for example you've got like terrible flexibility, or you know, you're terrible on pockets, something like that, and there's like you're gonna get injured if you don't train a certain thing, then I think that's when it's worth tackling that weakness, because you know, it comes back to that old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. But I do think at the same time that people focus way too much on what they're bad at and not enough on what they're good at. Yeah, other than my good looks, what's your main takeaway?
That I would die really fast if we went trad climbing together, and you wouldn't.
I don't know, you don't seem to fall off anything.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for me doing some risky moves, doing some trad climbing with Matt in an upcoming episode, and make sure you click that link below and find out about Matt's film. And other than that, I think we'll just say the usual stuff. Do all the healthy YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Matt. Bow.
Boom.
Oh, we missed the high five. Okay, video failed.
High five.
Right, not redoing that.
Yeah.